that, you know what, those guys were unfortunate, but I think they were fired because they were loyal to PENGASSAN. And again, you know, Dangote, like I said earlier on, told PENGASSAN that they were working with them based on, you know, the remittances of the dues for these 800 members. So how would you come and say that you're doing a corporate restructuring, but you had already gone to tell PENGASSAN that, okay, we're working with you on these people that really want to join PENGASSAN, and we're going to deduct from their salaries, and then all of a sudden from nowhere you did a corporate. That's not fair. That's mafia tactics. That's mafia tactics. While I don't subscribe to cutting Dangote off the oil supply, the crude oil supply, I don't subscribe to shutting down the whole economy. I don't subscribe to making sure that people, you know, are stranded, and then there's a fuel hike in price, and then there is also fuel scarcity. I don't like that. But at the same time, we need to also be sure that all these capitalists, you know, are not just trying to frustrate members or their staff just because they want to join a union. So there must be a balance. And for the 800 staff affected, the best bet for you guys to do is good to just start finding another. I'm telling you, because right now, your career at Dangote Refinery is already stalled. I don't see you ascending on based on whatever. Even if you put in the best performance, I believe that your career is over at Dangote. So best bet is start networking and try to get out of that as soon as possible. So this is what the court is saying. Let's see this. Court restrains PENGASSAN from cutting gas supply to Dangote Refinery. Let's look at this. The court further directed that the restraining order and suit be served later, be served on all defendants with immediate effect. So in essence, okay, this is what is happening. The court issued an interim order stopping the petroleum PENGASSAN, I'll just call it PENGASSAN, from continuing its nationwide industrial strike action against Dangote Refinery. Okay? Also, they were restrained from cutting crude and gas supply to Dangote Refinery. Emmanuel Subilim, wow, delivered the ruling on Monday, okay? And this was filed by the lawyer, Judge Ibrahim, a senior advocate. Okay, that's good. Let's see. The judge held that the balance of the convenience was in favor of the applicant, that's Dangote Refinery, as the continuation of the strike action will irreparably damage its business and cripple the provision of essential services to the Nigerian public. Dangote is going to be, like I said earlier on also, you know, Dangote is going to be a major player in this sector. And there's nothing you could, I mean, the investment justifies that it must be a major stakeholder. And this is the major refinery working in Nigeria. So if Dangote sneezes, sorry, it impacts the Nigerian economy. Immediate effect. So the case will be on the 13th of October for hearing. So we're gonna note that October 13th, we're gonna have, you know, hearing, and at the interim order would have a 7-day lifespan. So October 13th is when they're gonna listen to the is when on the interim basis, yeah, the crisis is still going to go on. Meanwhile, those that have been sacked, they've been sacked already. But TUC is saying that, you know what, you gotta call these people, right? The union has directed members nationwide to withdraw their services in protest against the alleged sack of Nigerian workers at the refinery from midnight on 28th September. Again, Dangote's explanation is that they're doing a corporate restructuring. That doesn't fly. While I don't agree that you should stop all these things, that explanation doesn't fly. It doesn't even pass the spell test, you know. The swift response, Dangote Refinery described the order as illegal and cautioned. Okay, this was just talking about the order that PENGASSAN gave. Okay, that's good. National grid stability. Oh yeah, it's going to affect everything. Energy, that's the basis of energy. Oil and gas, you have all those stuff. It's going to be crazy if they go on. Again, there needs to be some, and this is where I expect the National Assembly to be much more active. There needs to be some new rule This is the first time we're going to have, a massive refinery working. What is the National Assembly doing to ensure that all of these stakeholders are being treated fairly? From both Dangote needs to be treated fairly. The workers also working with Dangote needs to be treated fairly. Where is the National Assembly in all of it? I know people said Tinubu should wade into it. Yeah, the minister is actually trying to settle the rift. But again, I'm saying that where is the National Assembly? Because there are laws, right? They should write the law. They should rewrite the law if it accepts this purpose. TC demands reinstatement of sacked workers. So the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria, who the president of TUC is also the president of PENGASSAN, I believe. Don't quote me. But again, has demanded the immediate and unconditional reinstatement of workers allegedly sacked by the Dangote Petroleum Refinery. Okay. Yeah. Again, yeah, that's fine. Kamalafe, who's Kamalafe? Benga Kamalafe, Chief Executive National. Let's see. Let me reduce that. Yeah, NUPRC. There's a lot of organizations. There's a lot of there's commission. There is a NUPENG, right? There is TUC. There is a lot. It's okay. I mean, this is all a thing, yeah. Has called for the dialogue between Dangote Refinery and the PENGASSAN. Kamalafe made the call in a statement on Sunday, adding that the step was necessary to resolve the ongoing dispute. They also urged the Nigerian Union of NUPENG and parties involved to find a common ground to resolve their differences without disrupting energy supply nationwide. Yeah. Then NANS is also coming. Okay, News Agency of Nigeria report that the unions have been locked in labor dispute with Dangote Refinery over his recent sacking of workers and alleged labor right violations. Yeah. So again, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's just it is what it is. And I mean, it's just what it is. Okay. Both people involved in this fight, they're both powerful. PENGASSAN is powerful. Dangote is really, really powerful too. So I don't think I don't think it's just gonna be one person dominating another. I think both individuals want to wield their powers wherever they can. And Dangote, as we all know, really powerful. Don't let his gentle smile and fool you. That is the tough guy. You cannot even pull all these stunts without being tough, to be honest. PENGASSAN officials risk 25-year jail term. Union rights stop where sabotage begins. What? By ordering upstream workers to out crude and gas supply to Dangote Refinery, PENGASSAN has crossed a perilous legal threshold. While Section 40 of the Nigerian Constitution guarantees the right to unionize, it doesn't grant a license to sabotage national assets or obstruct private contract. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can't put everybody in darkness, cut major supplies, and destroy an already fragile economy that is just recovering thanks to the reforms of the current administration. It was not lawful industrial action. It was a reckless directive that may amount to criminal sabotage, what the law actually says. So there's a Section 40. And I know they've quoted this for a while. Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution affirms the freedom of association, including the right to union membership. Okay, so the 800 members had that right based on Section 40. However, this right must be exercised within the bounds of the law and public order. It does not extend to coercive disruption of third-party agreement. There's a lot of chain reaction, which I do agree with this. With this take in a way, Trade Dispute Act. The Act mandates mediation, arbitration, and referral to the Industrial Arbitration Panel before industrial action. PENGASSAN ignored these procedures. No trade dispute was declared, and legal remedies were not exhausted. Well, some people will say tell that to the 800 staff that were sacked. I know, but again, I kind of get it. It was too abrupt, and there was a level of ego from both sides here. Yeah, there's a level of ego. PENGASSAN is like, we're the one, like the guy, if you listen to his speech, was like, we're the one in charge. We're the one developing the country. Bro, calm down. Everybody's developing the country one way or the other. Not just PENGASSAN. So again, I kind of get it. tortious interference. The directive interferes with binding contract between Dangote Refinery and its suppliers. Under civil law, inducing breach of contract is actionable, which damages pay and with damages payable by the instigator. Criminal code, okay. The FCC Act, wait, to undermine Nigerian economic security. If proven, PENGASSAN directive could be considered economic sabotage, carrying penalty of 5 to 10 years. Yeah, and what I've said earlier on is you just have to put dialogue in this whole thing because it's really sensitive. But the claim of the guy from Pengassan is like, well, they're not going to disrupt anything in the short term, okay, because there's a 30 days. But my argument was that okay, so if you're not going to disrupt everything, then why do you have a job, right? Okay, court stops Pengassan orders from cutting gas supplier. Yeah, we've seen this one. Scorned and slandered return to Pengassan for aid. So this is Pengassan, Dangote Refinery, and Petrochemical. Oh, so they already have a Twitter handle. And this guy is being business. They already have a I didn't know. They already have a Twitter handle, bro. Scorned and slandered return to Pengassan for aid. Even the union was absolutely bewildered by Dangote's refinery management action and the unjust trial we were subjected to in the refinery complex. Their shock confirms the truth. This wasn't right. And I think, yeah, I mean, this is where it all happens, right? This is the source of all the issues. They just joined, possibly joined a few days ago. Wow. To our brothers and sisters across the entire oil and gas industry, thank you. In our darkest hour, you answered the call. Your support didn't just come as aid. It came as true source of strength and comfort. We're humbled by your unwavering response. Okay? Special thanks to the headquarters and the Lagos Zonal Executive Council. I believe that's what that means, ZEC, for standing with us and providing much needed succor. Your commitment to fighting for Nigerian worker is a light in this struggle. We see you. We are forever grateful. Wow. So again, let's see. Look at this. So they have a write-up. This was released September 25. Management verification exercise, members meeting, withdrawal of staff boss. The management physically attempted to verify whether staff voluntarily consented to join PENGASSAN by circulating a list for staff to confirm their membership. I mean, this was where I felt Dangote was not in the right. You know, you like, oh, we're going with right? Following the successful unionization of Dangote Petrol Refinery, whatever. The appointment of the caretaker committee of the branch executive council and the submission of batch 1 of the unionized member list to the management on the 25th of September 2025, we regret to inform you of the following development. So you see that management said, oh, okay, let's verify that these people really wants to join PENGASSAN. And then they circulated the list. Okay, confirm if you're going to be a member. And again, this is from the Dangote union member side of view. So I'm just reading it. I don't know. So that I'm not biased, right? And then a meeting was held. Okay. A meeting was held with members during which they were asked to indicate their membership, which they did. Overwhelmingly, people said, yeah. I mean, we're gonna join PENGASSAN. We're gonna join the union. You know? Then at 5 p.m., we received information that management has sent a directive that all shift buses were under maintenance and that workers should use their personal phone for transport to work. Okay, fine. Members had to spend up to 4,000 to report to duty. Despite this provocation, our members were calm and non-confrontational and still made sacrifices to ensure that they got to work. Denial of entry into the refinery. But what happened? Later in the evening between 6 p.m., okay, so I guess these were those doing the evening shift, and 7 p.m. today, and this was on the 25th of September, mind you, staff who had joined PENGASSAN were denied entry into the refinery and were informed there was on the order of Alaji, Aliko, Dangote, and only expatriates, Indians, Pakistanis, and other nationals were permitted to enter. That's wrong. I mean, let's just put it lightly. That's wrong. And it was on the order of Dangote. Of course, it would have been nobody else but Dangote. Yeah, CEO can't even do this. Just like what I said previously with Andrew Carnegie when there was to be a strike action in the early 1900s, and he saw that the workers were becoming too tough for him. You know what he did? He just went on a vacation and then brought a brutal head of a brutal CEO to take care. That one just ordered fire the staffs, and they killed a lot of staff that on the steel company early 1900s. That forever tarnished Andrew Carnegie, who was the first, I believe, richest man at the time before Rockefeller and all guys. So, of course, no, this would not have happened without Dangote stamping and approving it. So, at 9:59 p.m., Walker received a mass termination email. The level at which they even dealt with the staffs was wrong. There's no dignity. I mean, this doesn't justify, make you putting the country in a standstill. But I'm also still saying that you can't treat people like that. I've said no. And again, I understand from the mafia's point of view why you're gonna have all of this. I understand that. Okay. He wants to settle the issue of unionization once and for all. So I believe Dangote will be like, let's make these 800 people suffer for it so that we just close this case. But things are not done that way. No, you don't do that. You didn't even give them the benefit of the doubt to maybe reconsider their decision. The termination letter was addressed to all staff of Dangote Refinery. See attached. Targeted intimidation of union members. We intercepted an internal directive to the security department ordering the arrest and detention of the caretaker committee chairman by the GM Human Asset Management. What the hell? What? Wow. This is a direct act of intimidation against union leaders. Current situations and concerns. There are indications that further dismissal will be communicated tomorrow, which I think they eventually hit. So 800 of them out there. And then you have all these individuals. So again, I mean, it's tough. And it is what it is, and that's it. Even after our disengagement, kept supporting refinery operations when requested by expatriates. Why? Because we are the best in the world at it. Just last week, the management acknowledged our excellence. Let's see this.
We have to have some smart fuel. I can tell you today, when we use this, when we built this refinery, the Nigerian engineers that we hired, in fact, it's better you even hear from him. Did they perform as good or better than the Indians? They did.
In fact, they have performed so well that Qatar came and poached those new engineers who were taken and trained as expatriates to Qatar.
Wow.
18 of them.
So that again begs the question: why would you say that they were terminated for performance issue and broad restructuring, when just a few days ago you were saying that these are the best people you've ever had? I mean, if you have 3,000 and you sack 800, and you were out there in the public saying that these are the best set of people. So are you saying that 800 out of 3,000? That's more than that's almost 30%. That's almost 30% of your workforce. So what are we talking about? Again, money talks, right? And bullshit walks. Yeah, that's it. So I mean, Dangote has the money. So again, he's got the powers. He can do as he wants. But at the end of the day, also, I think that the way they were treated wasn't really fair. Now, you could say that PENGASSAN has not been in the good books of a lot of people. You could say they've sabotaged one way or the other. But again, you have to look at this case in its merits.
18 of them. So, like right now, if we are building this new fertilizer we are going to build, majority of the engineers will actually be Nigerians. What is just paining us is that after training 67,000 people plus Nigerians, nobody is doing any other bigger project that they can now go and get a work. They can get some jobs. So this is what you're supposed to do.
Okay, so that's it. Yeah. So the unions are saying that this is in just last week, saying that we are good. They recognize our excellence. That's fine. The technical replacement for our expertise is impossible. I don't think so. The technical replacement for our expertise is impossible. I don't think so. Nobody's indispensable. Okay. We now genuinely worry for the stability of the plan we built with our own sweat. Yeah, but you were paid when you were building it. You were paid when you were building. So again, expertise isn't bought or ordered. It takes painstaking dedication. The risk to the facility is real. I hope they can resolve their issues, bring back the 800 people, and I know they would have been blacklisted by now. Yeah. We are devastated, utterly devastated. This 6 hours ago, we gave the refinery the best of our lives since 2015. We toiled day and night, battling unsafe conditions and the lowest pay in the entire oil and gas industry. We endured all of it because we loved the job and believed in the vision. As saboteur of the project, we built beam by beam, line by line. This is not just area, this is career jeopardy. Yeah. Why would we want to see the end of the jewel we laid the foundation for? Our mantra is whatever. We built it, we love it. Okay. At 9:59 p.m. on Saturday, on September 25, 2025, one Nigerian staff was still processing our first evacuation of the complex. The final shock arrived. Your services are no longer required. So this is the letter. In view of the many recent cases of reported sabotage in different units of the petroleum refinery leading to major safety concern, the management is constrained to carry out a total reorganization of the plant. That's too broad. I mean, that's too broad. There's been a reported sabotage in different units of the petroleum refinery leading to major safety concerns. And you said it's been reported. So if there's been a reported sabotage, what have you guys done? You can't tell me 800 out of 3,000 staff were sabotaging the whole refinery at a point, and there was nothing done, and you waited for when these guys joined the group, the union, and then you fired 800 people. That doesn't make sense. That sounds like a tale to me. As a consequence of this development, we wish to inform you that your service is no longer required with effect from the eve of Thursday, September 25, 2025, 250925. Please surrender all the company's property in your possession to your line manager and obtain an exit clearance accordingly. But the date for doing so will be communicated to you later. So you sack them, okay, and then you want them to get a clearance, but you're only going to tell them about the clearance later. So technically, you've not even released them. The finance department, by a copy of this, is advised to compute all your benefits and entitlement in line with your terms of employment and condition of service and pay the amount due to you, less all indebtedness, subject to the condition that you have obtained the exit clearance certificate. What? So you're telling them, wait, look at this. So you're telling them that as of this day, Thursday, 2025, your service is no longer required. And you're saying they should surrender everything in their possession to your line manager. They're going to get an exit clearance. But the exit clearance, you don't know the dates. You're still going to tell them the dates in the future. But then you tell them the dates in the future, but you want them to, but you're saying that the finance will not even pay them until they give you that clearance back. of which the date they don't even know. Subject to this condition that you have obtained the exit clearance, which we don't know yet when you're going to obtain the. I don't know who is advising this guy, but this doesn't work. And then you have this as reorganization. No, this doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. I mean, it doesn't work. So I believe that for the union members, if they've done everything by the books and they've not done any sabotage, they actually do have a case and they could sue Dangote. Now you know how Nigerian court system works. You know, and that's the painful part. Because if this can be done to these people, which we don't know, like if you have cases of reported sabotage, you can't tell me 800 people sabotage Dangote Refinery at the same time. So what did you do at the time when there was sabotage done, you know, in the name of possibly supporting a third party out there? Was there any investigation done to that? Were you able to pinpoint what really happened? This doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't know who is writing this. I don't know who is advising. Chief General Manager, Human Assembly. What the hell? What the heck that means? And then they copied all of this. This is wrong. This is wrong. I mean, do not shut down the oil to Dangote, but at the same time, you can't treat people like this. I mean, look at it. They said they've been building this thing 2015, 10 years in a row, and then just overnight. For years, we had warnings in the Hall of Marble House. Dangote workers would never be in. In the free Lekki trade zone, the threats were harsher. Unions are illegal here, and the company could simply dismiss us and hire 100% foreigners. That's how we treat our home people, right? Again, I understand the fact that at times the unions, they go over their, you know, over their powers, and at times they try to sabotage. I understand, but again, you know, look at this. Please be informed that the recent email regarding the reorganization of DR is not related to expatriate staff. There's no cause for concern. All expatriate staff employees are advised to continue with their duties as normal. So if you're a Nigerian, you're meant to suffer. So even though the expatriate staff also joined the union, I mean, I don't know which of the judges or the lawyers will take on this case and go to court and said, oh, so we had some other expatriate that did join the union or whatever, but then Nigerians that joined the union were fired. But we left the expatriate that joined the union or not, or whatever it is, we left them alone. I mean, this doesn't make sense. So you have this, I don't know, maybe Itesh, Krishna, Patesh. Please be informed that the recent email regarding the organization of DRP is not related to you guys. It's those Nigerians. It's those Nigerians that would suffer. Okay? We are protected. There's no excuse, there's no cause for concern. That's what he said here. Okay? All expatriate employees, let me let you see. There's no cause for concern, and all expatriate employees are advised to continue with their duties as normal. Leave those broke Nigerians, let them suffer. Can you imagine? In the view of manning crisis caused by the nationals not coming to work, following action to be taken. This is Engineer Nisha Kumar. Okay? All leaves of expatriates are cancelled until further notice. Anyone needing leave or genuine emergency will have to talk to me. 6 days work, 12 hours plus 1 off to be followed in every unit until action. Who is on leave? They need to report on time. No extension is accepted. How do you even run a company like this? How do you run a company in this way? In view of the manning crisis caused by national not coming to work. They said they were to get to work. You didn't allow them to come in. Following action has to be taken. All expatriates, all the Indians, all the Patesh, and the Kirish, and the Krishant, and the Punjabis, and the, all of them. Anyone needing leave or genuine emergency will have to talk to me. See, and those ones also, like they're expatriates. They are treated way, way better. Where's my face? Where's my face? Okay, they are treated way, way better in Nigeria than they're treated in their own homeland in India. They struggle, they fight to come to Nigeria to work. because they're being treated as expatriates. And that's why when you see some of them outside, and again, I'm just saying because I've been, I've worked in a place where we have a lot of them living there. We had a lot of Indians living. The way they behave is because of the way we treat them. Okay, yeah, we treat them like kings, and these guys are just average guys in India. I'm telling you. You see them all around, kind of the way they even look down at you. Like, and it's not as if they're any way better than you. I've worked with a lot of them. They're not in any way or form better than Nigerians. But our leaders would rather go pack them in just because Nigerians can do anything with them, and we can just do anything with them. Oh, go scot-free. I mean, Dangote himself said Nigerian workers are way better, and it was confirmed by the other Indian guy. So what are you talking about? But anyways, it is what it is. It is what it is. Tales of the Asian now see no Nigeria in a technical role. We're shocked to realize that those threats have become devastating reality. Again, I kind of understand why business owners hate unions. To be honest, I know unions at times they could overstep their boundaries. But at the same time, it is what it is, especially when you have a very big organization like this. I think the law permits them to. And you may not actually want total unionization, but there should be a way in which these people can also come together. Again, those people working in all these refineries and all this other stuff, they face enormous risk. Okay? So I don't blame them for wanting to unionize. Some of them get, they face accidents while working. Some of them just lose. I mean, they even have high risk of, cancer and all of that because of the exposure to all of these things. Just a few weeks ago, people were out there shouting, "Oh, Dangote truck, killing people and all of that." And all of a sudden, people want to blame these union members for trying to unionize. Okay. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's see what's happening. Um, Still monitoring the news. Yeah. I. Okay. All they want. Okay. Dangote management and his propaganda team can lie all they want, but they know the truth. They sacked over 3,000 Nigerians simply for joining unions. That's it. I mean, I don't know why this is not clear to people. See a video of overpampered India Group vice chairman of Dangote sitting comfortably in Nigeria, rolling his chair.
As a packaging and at that time, Alaji said, I've been a trader all my life. I do not want trade unions coming into my business. I told him, Alaji, till I became a business head, I have been a trade union leader. As a manager, I have got two of my bosses removed as a trade union leader. So I know how to manage trade unions. I have just leave it to me. Just work this way. I said, okay, it's not difficult. Because
I hear what he's talking about.
difference of opinion and problems to start brewing in your company. And if you don't address it, you can get into this kind of problems. As I said, initially I started talking about families. You don't have trade unions within your family. I know the Nigerian families are quite large.
What's he talking about? You don't have trade unions within your family. What's he talking about? Family is a unit within these things. Even in families, there are groups. There are people come together to do stuffs. When there are issues, there's a way they solve it. And you can't use a nuclear family or even an extended family to compare to a Dangote multinational, not multinational, but national. Okay, so What is it talking about that we don't allow trade union in our homes? But it's called trade. In my home, it's a family, not a business. And again, I'm saying that if trade unions or if groups, you know, are becoming excessive, there are ways to solve that. Again, I'm not saying PENGASSAN should also have, you know, maybe gone through the mediation process, then the arbitration process, and all of those. I'm not supporting them. But for you to just sack 3,000 people, you pulled the trigger by sacking the 800 workers. You did pull the trigger, okay? And this guy thinks that he can just come and talk down on Nigerians because what? Because he's an expatriate.
But children from different mothers and all that. But still,
Bangladesh brings foreigners, pay them more, give them PPE in conditions. But your fellow Nigerians, you want to trapped in modern day slavery. Okay. Yeah. Okay. This is just an example. They've endured hell building that company, yet their only crime is demanding basic right and freedom of association. Exactly. Just because he believes he's bigger than the industry and can get away with such reckless disregard for both workers, he moves like Section 40 doesn't exist. Ah. One thing most people don't know is that Dangote Refinery is protected by FZE laws. If FG moves mad, he will sue Nigeria and collect all our reserves in foreign land. Bangasa of whatever they are called as evil leader. Let DR employ 10,000 people from India, even drivers. Okay. Yeah, I mean, people are going to have their own point of views. Again, I'm saying you could hate Pengassan, you could even hate the unions, but again, what is wrong is wrong. You could have outrightly told them they're not going to be involved, but then you didn't even give them the opportunity to present their case. You just sacked them. Why were you doing the verification process if that's what you want to do? The people are the problem. Where are the sacked engineers? Can they come out and say the true situation of things? I find it difficult to understand the Dangote doesn't give water safety material and pay them well. Okay. Anyways, it is what it is. Okay, this is Dangote. Okay, feeding the lavish lifestyle of association oligarch. Lawlessness, Pengassan, its lies and terror tactics. Okay. I love what I saw here. Apart from feeding the lavish lifestyle of the association oligarchs, what has Pengassan been doing with the monthly checkup dues and subscription of its members, which runs into billions of naira? Well, that's for them. That's for their members to question them on. And I agree with you. And that's why I don't really like being an activist. Seriously, because those that go into the trenches and those that get things done, most of the times they are not activists. They are not. Because the demand is more than you just being an activist. I know that you're nothing but a conveyor of bad and negative news, but the Tinubu-led administration is 20x ahead of you. A meeting between the federal government, Pengassan, and Dangote Group was held today. The presidency isn't social media influencing. Yeah, I said it when I saw this Peter Obi's tweet. Like, people don't come out to tweet. See, the people doing the real work are not paid that too for some of us, right? People doing the real work. And that's the reality. The people doing the real work are not on social media. He's saying, I'm worried of the lack of response by the government. That doesn't make sense. I don't know why Peter Obi to the threat and eventual commencement of a strike by Pengassan, which is already having an adverse effect. If the presidency gets into it again and sides with one against the other, you guys will also come again and say it doesn't have the constitutional powers. We know how this cinema runs. So again, this is the response. It's well known that you're not a conveyor of bad and negative news, but the Tinubu-led administration is 20x. Anyways, This is a party guy. A meeting between the federal government, PENGASSAN, and Dangote was held.
Hey, sorry.
With your kind, we all be seated. A very pleasant afternoon, Minister. Honorable Minister, sir, with your kind permission, and we take the third standard of the national anthem, Nigeria be blessed.
So we have to sing. I don't get why we have to sing the national anthem. Seriously. This is not like a national, this is not like an Independence Day declaration. You just want to settle fight between the union and Dangote people. Now you have to sing the national anthem. This is on the time of the government. This is like, I don't understand how these people operate.
Shall we all be seated? A very pleasant afternoon. Secretary, Finance.
So this is what we do.
Vice President, Business Services, NNPC, the President, PENGASSAN, the management team of the Dangote groups, gentlemen of the press, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon before you is the PENGASSAN and the Dangote group of company, the two organizations, on issues ongoing.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, that's just a dream big as a kid big, inspired by African richest man Alikoda. I don't understand. What is it? Let me see. What was saying? Someone amazing. This is good to see. Great. Okay, I don't know what this is all about. Juliana Olayinka. Okay, it's okay. Yeah. So again, and I think at some point they need to just maybe not a full unionization, maybe just a middle ground. A middle ground would sound really appropriate on this. Okay. I think I'm gonna move on. I don't think there's anything more to talk about here. We're gonna be following the story, and then see what happens. Hopefully, they resolve those issues. And the most expensive thing I've bought with my money is my private jet for 50. Yeah, that's it. Oh, Dangote built his refinery with our money coming from a union wouldn't. No, that was not what he was saying. What he was saying was that Dangote got a juicy foreign exchange, foreign exchange, what would I call now? Exchange rate from the CBN, and that was what happened. Okay. Mr. PENGASSAN does not intend to cripple Dangote. They want a conversation. Workers have the right to withdraw their service. There should be a dialogue to address the issues before it snowballs. PENGASSAN aims to support the refinery in every way possible. What they seek is to avoid losing face for members who have expressed interest in joining PENGASSAN, particularly the 800 workers who have been fired by Dangote. While Dangote Refinery has a right to hire, it does not possess an absolute right to terminate employment. Peter Esele, former president. I can agree with what he's saying here.
Before coming on. So what the union is doing is that they are notifying the country that we have a right to withdraw our service. Therefore, we are withdrawing our service.
It's not as simple and straightforward. It's not as simple and straightforward. When you talk about withdrawing services to put the nation into jeopardy, but let's see.
So if they say they are withdrawing their service, so what we need to do is, what do we do to ensure that whatever is going to snowball into making us lose or threaten national security, then we now need to do something about it. I don't think PENGASSAN really want to cripple Dangote. I heard before coming on, I listened to Rufai, I listened to Dr. Abati, and I listened to yourself. And Dr. Abati went as far as saying that even the president should also be arrested. We're in a democracy, for God's sake. There may be a disagreement. But I will tell you, PENGASSAN is not closing the valve immediately. PENGASSAN wants a conversation. I spoke to PENGASSAN yesterday. I spoke to officials of PENGASSAN yesterday. They want to do everything to support their refineries. What they are simply after is that if these guys have intimidated interest to be part of us and they've lost their job, what that means is that the president of PENGASSAN and PENGASSAN itself will also lose face. So if I say I'm going to be part of you and I lose my job, so why do I need to belong to you in future?
Okay.
Does Dangote have the right to hire and fire? He has the right to hire, but he does not have the absolute power to fire. It has to be transparent.
I agree. I agree with him, right? Like, again, it wasn't as if these guys said, oh, PENGASSAN or nothing. They didn't come out to say PENGASSAN or nothing. And again, why did you do the verification? If you were not going to, yeah, you did a verification for these people who are PENGASSAN on the false pretense. Okay, so that's it. Let me see if I can see another thing. Yeah, I've listened to this one. I've seen this one. Yeah. Dangote is a very dangerous guy. He has put out strong propaganda machine to confuse Nigeria. So many people have beaten the challenge in the actually. Like, I don't understand how people are so gullible that they could not even see this thing black and white the way it should be. Somebody joined union yesterday. They fire everybody day after, and people are saying that it's because of sabotage and all that. Dangote does not want union. Simple. That's just all I could gain from this. In the eyes of many gullible Nigerians, the union were responsible for the collapse of 4 Nigerian refineries. How? How the heck can any secondary school leaver ever believe that BS in 2025, in the age of ChatGPT? Okay, yeah, I guess that there's a lot of propaganda, right? Back and forth, but it's okay. What Dangote should do? Dangote should sit by while PENGASSAN and their lives cripple. Nobody's saying your plant is in a free trade corridor. You can source crude abroad and export every drop. If Nigeria wants your product, let them pay in dollars like everyone else. PENGASSAN can have their way. NUPEN can have their way. Subsidy can return. Malta blending plant resume. President. Okay. Yeah, I know some people just want everything to collapse. Nobody's saying Dangote should sit back. Nobody's saying Dangote should not have control of his refinery. But at the same time, these people are not animals. If they want to join a union to protect their rights, because the day would come when they would need that right, absolutely. And if you capitulate to Dangote today, tomorrow, you cannot come and complain. When you get treated like anyhow, you can't. So this is Dangote. This is Dangote's letterhead, okay? So let's see. Absolutely shameful move by Dangote. Just 24 hours ago, 90% of over 1,000 of its Nigerian workers joined PENGASSAN. They are all sacked under flimsy reorganization excuse. That's what I'm saying. It's very shady. Okay, let's look at this. Dangote Refinery is not against unionism as it recognizes the right of workers to unionize. The group also respect the right of all workers to either join or not to join a union in line with the principle of voluntarism. While we are obliged to protect the right of workers who choose to join or not join any union, we are also obliged to protect the rights of those workers who, for any reason, decide not to join. Yeah, that's fair. It should be noted that we respect the rights of all our employees to a safe, peaceful, and secure environment, devoid of threat of their personal well-being and source of income. The Dangote Refinery will continue to engage relevant stakeholders and wish to assure the workers, government, and indeed Nigeria that we will not relent promotion of the economic health and well-being of our workers in general. We also wish to urge the unions to respect those principles for a peaceful industrial relations ecosystem in the oil and gas. So they released this, okay? And then, but you were saying that you support the right to join, then why fire 800 people that joined? Dangote should recall the workers sacked because of their decision to join their trade union, and PENGASSAN should suspend their decision to cut off gas supplies to Dangote Refinery. The nation is part of Dangote's refinery, our refinery. They built it with it's unprecedented level of success, but the right of workers to unionize is embedded in the law of our country. Simple. Simple. I mean, if you don't want your workers to go on strike, you can also have a carve-out, have an agreement with PENGASSAN. You can even have an agreement that says that You see, should there be a disagreement, worker strike should not be more than 2 days. You can always blend things, you can always work things out. But this my way or the highway is not going to work. I'm tired of this story, to be honest with you. I'm tired of this story. Okay, let me move on.